Hey, what's up, y'all? This is season 1, episode 5 of the New World Diary. I'm your host, Johnny Rock, once again. And I just like to talk about, I don't know, anything really. I mean, it's Black History Month, so I think everybody should go out and make an attempt to find out something new about somebody that did something substantial for Black culture. I think that's really important every year. I think this month goes unnoticed by Black people sometimes, and it's a shame. And there's so much that Black people have done for their culture, for their heritage, for the progression of our culture, that it really goes unnoticed by the younger generation. That is, I mean, if you are a little older, I think you realize the significance that those people made, like in the 1930s, the Harlem Renaissance, or what Martin Luther King did for civil rights, Malcolm X, then you would understand that. But for a younger generation, I think it goes unnoticed. But yeah, it's Black History Month, so I went to the library and got this book right here. Langston Hughes Reader. And it has all his works, his novels, stories, plays, autobiographies, poems, songs, articles, speeches. It's a good book. I got like 50 pages into it so far, and I'm just reading his short stories, and his short stories are like so gripping. Like they're even moving. Like there's one short story that um almost moved me to tears. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I was crying, I was weeping, but I mean, I really felt something because it really touched a sentiment in my heart, because it was something that everybody can relate to. It's about a guy losing his mother, and when there's death in the family, it touches everybody, and it's hard to kind of mask those feelings. So yeah, I was almost moved to tears. It's called On the Way Home. And if you don't know it, you should check it out. It's a short story. It's really short. It's like 4 pages. It's not long at all. But it's a good read. And the words he uses, like Langston Hughes is such a poet. Like the words he used are so poetic, and how he phrases his sentences is so unique that you can't help but read more. Like you want to read more of his stuff. Like you want to find out about what he's talking about in every story or every poem. I know A Dream Deferred is another famous poem. I haven't read that actually, but I will read that in this book. So that should be fun. And I think you should just enjoy this month. I mean, do something that you wouldn't usually do if, like, you don't really get into Black culture, or even if you are really into Black culture, um, you should find out a little bit more about your culture. And I know I'm preaching to the choir because, you know, I'm not the most adverse person on Black culture, but I still think that it's important. You know, I still feel that it is very important. I have some poetry of my own that I would like to read to you. I'll start with 2 poems, and these poems are up on writerscafe.org. So if you want to check out my other poems, they're on writerscafe.org, and I'm going to be putting up a couple short stories. Maybe this um, novel I'm working on, it's really in the early stages. It's really raw and like it's a rough draft, but I'm still working to cash out the problems and the aspects of the story too much because um, I never sit down to write this. Like, it's so hard for me to write. It's loosely based about my own life. So it's kind of hard for me to get the words to to jot it down on the paper to explain how I feel sometimes. But this is a poem written by me, Johnny Rock. You also know me as John G. Forrester Jr. You can also put that in the search at Writers Cafe and find my poems. It's under John G. Forrester Jr. Forrester, Forrester. John spelled the regular way, G. Forrester Jr. Jr. Alright, so the first poem is called The Glass. The glass is half full. My world is half empty. The life is real. The money isn't. The women are my sisters. The strangers I do not know. The men are my brothers. The criminals I do not see. My team is filled with winners, but you couldn't tell because you can't see who we are, and you're blind to the fact that we are stars. That poem was called The Glass. And basically, it's like an introspection of the world around me. Not an introspection, it's like a take on the world around me. So my perception is that I see the glass half full, but my world is empty. Like I have little friends and not I have a lot of family, but I there's distant cousins that I don't really talk to, but my immediate family is like my world is half empty because I don't have a lot of people in it. And I don't have a lot of friends. I have some friends, but I don't have a lot of friends, so I'm saying that my world is half empty. The life is real. The money isn't. Basically what I'm saying is like reality plays in the part of how you live. Like the real part is yourself. Like the life that you see yourself is real. The money isn't. So like the materialistic things aren't real because at the end of the day they don't matter. The women are my sisters, the strangers I do not know. Now I'm saying the women out there are my sisters, they should be treated as so, and I see them as such. And the strangers I do not know. The people that look strange to me are the people that look at me strange, like I'm a stranger. I do not know, I don't pay attention to that. And the men are my brothers, the criminals I do not see. So I'm saying the men out there are my brothers, and I see them as such, and the criminals I do not see. The people that are out there scheming, plotting to get ahead, like I do not see. I don't pay any attention to that. So they're not on my radar. My team is filled with winners, but you couldn't tell. I'm saying that everybody around me is a winner, but you couldn't tell looking in because people are blinded by materialistic things. Like it's all about what you have and what you're showing off and bling blinging and all that, and that gets in the way of the real worth of a person. So if you can't see because they have all this materialistic things in the way, then you will never see that my team is filled with winners because you can't see who we are. And basically I'm saying you can't see us. Like you don't see me. Like you don't see us because you see the wrong things. You pay attention to the wrong things. And my team is all about the right things and all about progression and systematic living. And you're blind to the fact that we are stars. And you can't see that we're stars. Basically, we're famous in our own right. We're among the constellation. We are those type of people. And you're blind to the fact that that's what we are. Okay. Yeah, this is another short poem. I'll read it to you. The name of it is The Beginning of the Story. And this is an introspection. This is really an introspection of what I hate and what I love in the world. I have love. I have hate. I have peace. I have chaos. I have admiration, genius. I have ignorance. I have sanity. I have illness. I have grace. I have virtue. I have soul. I have happiness. So basically what I'm saying is I have love in my life and I have hate in my life. That's what the first line of. I have love, I have hate. So, certain people think that, it's all about love and positivity, which it is, and I agree with that fact. But there's things that you hate, and there's people that you don't like. And hate is a strong word. My mother used to always say that. But there's things that I hate, and it's like two sides of a coin. It's You can't have one without the other. Basically, is what I'm saying. And now the next line is, I have peace, I have chaos. Now, what I mean by that is that I have peace and tranquility, then I have chaos and craziness. It's all in one, it's all on the same coin. It's like this whole poem is talking about two sides of the coin. I have admiration, genius. I have ignorance. Now, I have admiration, genius. I admire the geniuses of the world. I admire like really good lyrical rappers, and I think they're genius. Like Kanye West, I think he's a genius. Like Jay-Z, I think he's a genius. How they put their words together means so much, and it's good that I'm talking about this because it's Black History Month, and they're black. Throw it in your face, yeah. Nah, and then after that, it's I have admiration, genius. I have ignorance. Like there's things I don't know, and things I will never know, really. So, there's always something that you can learn from life, and in that fact, I'm ignorant. I have sanity. I have illness. Like I'm a very sane person, but then I have an illness, which is schizophrenia, and that illness sometimes makes me feel like I'm insane, like I'm not in my right mind. Like, definitely when you're dealing with a mental illness, it's something, it's something going wrong with your mind, but it's a thought disorder, and it's hard to get the thoughts out of your mind, and they kind of just stay there and like build a home and they kind of worry you. Like at the beginning when I was first dealing with my illness and I was getting used to the auditory hallucinations, like I could not I could not get used to it. Like it was so hard. It was so intense. Like the words that they were saying and the comments that they were saying and at the volume they were saying it in my head was so loud and so aggressive that I couldn't think. Like I had to read books out loud just to get a rest from the voices. Because when I read, I didn't hear any voices. It's like somebody running away with your mind. Like that's the only thing I could explain it. Like somebody just running you. Like they're on a treadmill and they're just running. and your head is just going on these tangents that you don't know what it's where it's gonna end or where it's gonna stop. Okay, so I talked enough about that, but that's just a little something into it. It's something I'm dealing with to this day. It's been 5 years since I've been diagnosed with schizophrenia, and the medication helps. I mean, the medication helps a lot. I don't hallucinate as often as before, and it's very minimal now. So I'm good. I have grace, I have virtue. Now, I'm basically saying that I have grace in the fact that what I do shows grace. Like, the way I write shows grace. The way I play basketball shows grace. The way I rap shows grace. I have virtue. Now, virtue is not the opposite of grace, but it's something that I don't look kindly on. Like everybody says, like patience is a virtue, but I think patience is something that you can look at as not a great thing. Like just to sit back and wait for something to happen is not always the best thing. Like people who go out and get it um, are much more well off than people who wait for something to happen. So I'm saying my virtues are not all good, to me at least. I have soul, I have happiness. And basically what I'm saying is I have I have a soul that is clean, I guess for the most part. That is that has transformed from a younger me to an adult, and I have led basically a good life. I mean, I have done some stuff in my life that I'm not proud of. Some really bad things actually that I'm not proud of. But I have a soul that is clean now because I have confessed my sins and I went through the necessary protocols to rid myself of the guilt of those sins. And I have happiness. Now here, happiness may think like it's the best thing in the world, but with me it's the opposite. It's like I have a soul and then I have happiness on the other side of the coin. So what I'm saying is I don't necessarily I'm not necessarily happy, or I don't look at being happy as a good thing, because when I'm gloomy or down in the dumps, like I write the best rhymes when I'm feeling a certain way, when I'm feeling a negative feeling in me. Like I write more. I bleed through the pen more. Like I type more. I do more I do more things with my time when I'm unhappy, because I'm trying to search for something that's going to make me happy. So happiness, you can get stagnant and really don't go anywhere because you're fat and you're happy. But I'm saying that's not always a good thing, which is weird to say, but that's what I'm saying. So once again, it's been real. This is season 1, episode 5 of the New World Diary. I'm Johnny Rock, also known as John G. Forster Jr., the one, the only, the original, the originator. All those infiltrators, please fall back. Alright, y'all. I'm out. Peace.